Hello friends, this is Alicia and I am coming to you live from Chardon, Ohio, the home of the Chardon Sign Shack. 2 weeks in a row I'm able to get my secondary device up. I'm so excited. So anyhow, as you're hopping on, please say hello. Let me know your name, where you're from. And if you're watching this on replay, you can always add hashtag replay. I like getting to know all of you. And just to let you know a little bit about myself, I'm in Northeast Ohio, and I am the ambassador for the Stencil Smith, which is a wonderful stencil company. Today I'm going to be stenciling a game board, 2 game boards actually, and they are really, really neat. So like I said, as you're hopping on here, just say hello. Let me know who you are. Okay, and I am gonna just get these stencils here and I am gonna show them to you, the ones that we're doing. Okay, so the ones we are gonna be doing today, we've got 2 of them. Both of them are on sale today and tomorrow, 20% off. If you use my code SIGNSHACK, you get an additional 15% off those stencils. So the one I'm going to be doing first is going to be this. Isn't this beautiful? It could be a checker. Hello, April. How are you? A checker, a chess set. And I love this. Family that plays together stays together. We play an awful lot of games together. Me and my grandsons and my husband, especially on the weekends. We haven't played any checkers. We don't have a checkerboard. Hi, Cindy. How are you? It's nice to see you. So this is the number 1 we're going to be doing. And we're doing a twofer. So on the back side, we're going to be doing this tic-tac-toe set right here, and it comes with the X's and the O's, which you could stencil this as a sign. You could stencil these separately, make place pieces. I'm going to be doing it on chalkboard paint, and this is the tic-tac-toe. So these are going to be number, and I'll repeat them again later just because some people hop on later. This one that I'm doing is number 8679 in the medium. This checker chess set, and then this tic-tac-toe set is number 6001 in the 11-inch, and I always order the hazy white. There will be 2 choices there. So yes, as you're hopping on, hi Vicky, how are you? Please say hello, let me know you're here. So we're going to start with the checker set, checker chess. It depends, which you could use it for both. I did get some really cool checker pieces, which I'll show you when I'm done off of Amazon that'll fit this. So I am doing this one on an 18-inch round. Oh, thank you for the share. Yeah, thank you. I'm not supposed to say that. As you're hopping on, if you wouldn't mind doing this, I would really appreciate this. It helps me get out there in Facebook land. It helps April. It helps us spread our joy of crafting. Hi, Ellen. How are you? Welcome. Welcome. So I stained, this is an 18-inch round that I picked up at Home Depot. I don't think it's quite 18 inches. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate it. I believe this is like, if you read, it's like 17 3/4, something like that. But it fits this stencil perfect. This is the medium stencil. And I went ahead and I stained this, and I use this a lot for a stain. I don't think they have samples, but today, if you like what we're doing, it's a really, really good deal, and you only have to order $35 for free shipping. Their stencils are amazing. Have you stenciled before? Hi, Ellen. So this is what I use to stain the board. Let me get it turned correctly. This is Valspar Antiquing Glaze. It's not officially a stain. It's a water-based glaze, and I use it as a stain lots of times. I love the color of it. Oh, thank you, Cindy. You're so sweet. Cindy is so kind. She's another crafter. She has a page called Berry Jam Crafts, and she's one of my biggest supporters. If you haven't followed her, you should give her a look and follow her because she has some amazing ideas too. But anyhow, so this is an 18-inch round. And I'm going to angle this down and we're going to get started here with this first stencil. And I stained it with the Valspar Antiquing Glaze. I did 2 coats. You're right, Vicki. There are so many choices of stencils. You're welcome. You're welcome, Cindy. I've met a lot of really, really nice people through stenciling. And Cindy is one of the very best. So I'm going to angle this down so you can see what I'm doing here. And I want to place this about halfway. I'm just eyeballing it. And I decided earlier on, you know, you could place it this way. I wanted it to go lengthwise with the grain of the wood. So I've sanded and I've stained this. And I know there was somebody new last week and they asked me, oh my goodness. See, April said almost 10,000 designs. There are so many, and not only are there so many designs, but there are so many different sizes that you could choose them in. And if there's not a size that you see that you need, if you email April, they are glad to accommodate you. So the person that was new last week, I don't know if they're joining me today, but they had a lot of questions. And one of the main questions they had was, you know, about using adhesive. I do not use adhesive. And I forget sometimes to go over these kind of things because I've been doing this so long, but we always have new people. You know, maybe you've never stenciled before. Someone who's new. What is the site called for the Stencil Smith? It's www, what is it, HTTP, maybe April could put it up there, thestencilsmith.com. But if you Google that, it should come right up. And I do have a link to this particular stencil. So I am using, there you go, April listed it in the comments, www.thestencilsmith.com. Okay, so I'm using an off-white. I wanted to go for, I didn't want a stark white on this side. I wanted an off-white, and this raw silk infusion mineral is really pretty. Yes, they cut them. You would be amazed. Like, you order them, and they try their very best to get them out the day you order them. I don't think they do on, you know, Saturdays and Sundays, of course, on the weekend, but during the weekdays. And then, I mean, I'm in Ohio, so I get mine really quickly. April, the Stencil Smith, is in Ohio too. And that's another thing that's great about the Stencil Smith. They are made in the USA. They're made right here in the Columbus, Ohio area. So they're genuinely made in the USA. So again, I'm using raw silk fusion mineral. You can use any acrylic water-based paint that you would like. And this is one of my favorite brushes. I do have other stenciling brushes, which I'm going to be using, but I use this all the time. This is called the Klingon 035. You can get them on Etsy. And if there is ever any questions that you have, sometimes I miss things in the comments. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Liz. Yeah, you get them quickly, too. They have another wonderful site, Knots and Grain Woodworking. They do beautiful woodworking. But this is a great brush. And if you have any questions, like I started to say, I get distracted, message me if I don't answer them through the comments, because sometimes I miss things. Facebook is weird that way. So you want to get paint on your brush, but then you want to offload. And this is another thing that person was asking, because she said she got lots of bleeds when she stenciled and she wanted to try it again. Well, the key to stenciling, it's good to have a good brush, but also the key to stenciling is offloading. So you want to get paint, and then I use shop towels. You can use a paper towel, and then I offload it. And I am actually going to do this whole board in this same color. I'm going to do the words, everything. And the first time you put it on, it's probably going to be drier than as your brush gets saturated. Even though you're taking the paint off, you're getting more paint on it. But this is a really, really nice brush, and I use it a lot. You don't have to. Like I said, I've got these. You can get these on Amazon. If you look up like domed stencil brushes, these will pop up in your feed. They're royal, and then I've got some of these purple ones too. They're royal and Langnickel. Both of these are, and they work really well too. So has anybody, I know Dominica, she's one of my Facebook friends. She has made one of the Stencil Smith. I think she's made a couple actually of the checkerboards. And I'm swirling this in here ever so lightly. Not super hard. You don't want to go up under the stencil. And I'm getting my first coat on. But she's made quite a few game boards. Oh, that's great, Deb. Yeah, they are a wonderful, wonderful company. I truly cannot say enough good things about them. They have wonderful customer service. And these days, it's so important to support small businesses. I've made a point. I work, I know you folks know if you've joined me before, I work at a local apple orchard, usually just in the fall, but the way help is, it's extended into this winter and probably going to continue. But I always try to buy there. Yes, sometimes you pay a little more at a small business. Like I know the apple orchard I work at, it might be a little bit more. But you're supporting a family. There's a local butcher here, and I made a point this year, and honestly, her prices aren't that much more than what you get at the grocery store. But I made a point. I told myself, you know, usually I don't make New Year's resolutions, but I thought I'm going to go out, and if there's any local people here, if you haven't, go out to Gar Horizons. She grows all her own. It's relaxing to do too, April. She grows all her own feed, and you know, her raises her animals there. They roam freely. No antibiotics, no hormones. But I'm getting off track. But my point is, I'm trying very hard in this year to support small businesses and made in the USA. Sometimes it's not as easy to do as you would think, but the Stencil Smith is 100% made in the USA. They make them right here in my home state of Ohio, the Buckeye State. I think we went through this last week because somebody, I had never heard of it. I think it was North Dakota. Somebody from North Dakota told me what their state was called, and it was two words, and I cannot remember. So as you can see, I'm doing a couple coats here. A couple of coats, friends. And I'm going to give it a dry, actually, if I can find. I am really, here we go. I try real hard to have everything ready when I start, but it never, let me just get my heat gun around here. Sorry about that, friends. So did anybody try, I know I had a lot of people message me last week about the boot clips from Amazon for storing. You can't stencil and talk at the same time. Thank you. Is it Liz or is it Jackie that's watching, or are both of you? I'm unsure. Hi, Winnie. How are you? I'm a mess. Ooh, I like this already. I got to do another coat. But when you're stenciling, less is more. So you want to have less paint on your brush. You might have to do it a couple of times. It's Jackie. Hi, Jackie. How are you? Which, Jackie, I need to message you. I do want to order some of your hearts. I know I saw you got back to me. So I think this is really pretty. And this is something that you could pass down, you know, generation to generation. I think this is something that's really unique in the stenciling, you know, game boards. You doing good? Oh, you like the boot clips? Yeah, those boot clips are awesome. I just got another bag of them. I didn't think I'd go through that many, but this is what I'm talking about. I got a bag of 30, and these are amazing. That's how I hang my stencils on a coat rack, if you didn't see last week's. And just like this, they hang so nicely. And you can get, this has only got 2 on it, but you can get a bunch on it. And they're right at your fingertips too. I better make sure I offloaded. But yeah, so if you're new, I know this one girl last week, she kept, you know, she was asking, I hope she's joined today. I told her to, that when you're stenciling, you know, to prevent the bleeding, offload. Even when you're, I am not a sponger, but I know there are some spongers out there. Even when you're sponging, you want to offload. You want to get that paint on there and then off. But I really like this idea. I thought this was really cool. My grandson Brody, he's really excited about it. He helped us pull carpet this weekend. He didn't know what he was in for. He volunteered for it. Jackie, I'll send you a link for him. I don't know where my link is. It might be in some of the comments. I know a lot of people ask for them, but they are phenomenal. They're really, really strong. Now this stain is sucking the paint up a lot more. Usually I use paint, and this stain is taking just a little bit more. But I thought this would be a pretty one to stain. And I love swirling. I find it very relaxing. Very relaxing. Hi Lois, how are you? Okay, I think I'm going to do one more coat. It's getting to where I want it. I do kind of like the faded look of the squares though. I like those a lot. Yeah, I like the stain. I used to use stain a lot, but then I had trouble, well, with pine, as you know, knots they can seep, especially if you're using a light colored, it can really come through and yellow your work. And I hate to sell something to somebody and then, you know, to have that seep through. So I started using mostly paint, and that's the reason. And if you wanted to be careful, I didn't, which I should have. You could tape this all the way down because this is rather close to the edge, and you wouldn't have to worry, kind of like I am. Yeah, you don't like that, I know. With pine wood, that can happen. So even if you stain, it's not as noticeable with this dark stain. But if you had something white over it, right over the knot, it could leak. I do use a bin. I think it's Zinsser bin primer, and I haven't had any problems with yellowing since then. I tried Dixie Boss Bell. I had heard that didn't seep, and I didn't have any problems with it, but my sister did a board, and it was a commission piece, and it seeped everywhere. And I don't know, it was sent to Florida. I don't know whether it was because of the extreme heat down there, but that was not a good situation. Yeah, the knots are real buggers. Hi, Kathy. How are you? The stain color is Valspar Antiquing Glaze, which is not really a stain, but you can use it as a glaze and as a stain. I use it as a stain an awful lot. Yes, the 123 primer. It works real well. It works really well. And I think I'm going to leave some of these checks just a little faded looking, not so solid, a little splotchy looking. I like when things are a little variegated and they aren't necessarily, you know, just all the way one straight color. I think it makes them more interesting visually, if that makes sense to you. So I guess we're expecting a big storm. I know a lot of people have been having bad storms. Okay, I usually just do the knots. I used to do the boards, the whole board, but the thing with that is it gets expensive if you do the whole board. And I haven't had any trouble. It's just where the knots are at that it seeps. And I don't like that. You know, it yellows. It will really yellow. So you, and if you're doing something like, if I do a lot of custom pieces and stuff like that, you can't be, you know, you don't want that to be happening. That would be just awful. And I'm just swirling that in there, in the words. Yeah, we play a lot of, you have one that's coming through. Yeah, see, that's what you don't want. You don't want to sell things and then have that happen. And that Zinsser bin, it really, really works well. And it's water-based. It dries really quickly. Really, really quickly. Yeah, we're supposed to get some bad weather here tonight. We're supposed to get, I think they were saying about 4 to 6 inches of snow. And then we're going to get rain. It's going to warm up and we're going to get rain, and then that's going to freeze. So it's going to be a huge mess. I have a feeling here. Okay, I'm going to lift this. I like that. What do you girls think? Do you think that looks nice like that? What do you think? I always move the wrong way into the camera. I like that a lot. So I'm going to show you just a little bit. You're in the 1 to 3, freezing. The stencil, okay, let me repeat that because there were only about 3 or 4 people on when I said it first. So this stencil that I'm using, and I don't think I centered this quite right. I should have measured that instead of eyeballed it. I'm way over here. So what I could do is I could run some kind of stripe down here. You can always fix something somehow. Yeah, April just listed it. Oh, a wooden TV tray. That is so cool, Lois. I like that idea. Yeah, you could do this on a rectangle. I wanted to do it on a round. Like I said, I am way over, friends. So, yeah, I'm going to stencil. And this is something really cool that April sent along with this. This is number, let's see. This is number 1690. This is a 2-inch. So these are chess pieces. So I could stencil those on the side if I wanted. I could stencil a name, you know, like Gifford, my last name, like Gifford family. I should have centered it better though. That's my bad. Don't do what I do. But I could stencil something really, You know, like I said, I could stencil that there. I think that's kind of cute, the chest. So anyhow, I'm still going to roll with this because it's just the way it goes some days. So ladies, let me tell you, you're not the only ones who mess up when you mess up. I do quite often. Quite often. I do way more than I want to. I'm going to give it a quick little dry. I'm going to show you real quick too. I'm just going to do a couple of the bridges here. I got paint all over me. I'm not centered. You've been there, yep. Yeah, a TV tray is a cool idea. Lois said she wants to do this on a TV tray. How neat would that be? So I'll put something there. I'm not sure what yet, but I'll make it look okay. I don't want to have to go back to the drawing board. And by back to the drawing board, I mean like sanding it down again, but you can. Yeah, a TV tray is a great idea. So to do the bridging, like the gaps in the bridges here, I've been doing that. I'm just going to show you on one of these real quick, and then we'll flip over and do the tic-tac-toe side. But yeah, so this is the medium, the 8, 6, 7, 9 checkers, and then the tic-tac-toe I'm going to be doing is the 11-inch. And then these little chest pieces, like if you wanted something like that to stencil on the side, those are, like I could put these here and maybe put a grain stripe here or something like that. You could do something to balance it out. This one's number 1690. But I just kind of, I get my little liner brush here and just fill in the bridges. And I just, how I do that is I just get a wee little bit of paint. And then I offload that brush too, because I don't want it to look too different. And usually, not always, but usually, I have to do this twice, depending. I've done all kinds of silly things. Has anybody done it where they've put the letters the wrong way? The nice thing about the Stencil Smith stencils also is that the numbers are imprinted on the front of the stencil. So like this one, you know, this would not be one. So like this X and O, if you look, you can always feel it and find it. If you can see it, they're down. And that's how you know you have it the right way. If the letters are, the numbers are up. You did a letter backwards before. Yeah, a letter backwards isn't so bad. But, hi Tammy, how are you? But if it's just the letter, but if you painted like some elaborate background, that can be a pain. And I just kind of use that liner brush and fill in those little bridges. And I'll show you on the other side how good it looks, because I took time before the live and because I added this to the tic-tac-toe as well, but I got it better centered on that one. I don't know. I may not be able to live with this, guys. I may have to go back and sand it. It depends. I just don't know. I just don't know. I'm kind of neurotic that way. But I think if I get something to balance it out too, I'll try that first and see. So there's usually always a fix. The only one that can be bad is if you're like stenciling on fabric. There's not a whole lot of sanding you can do on fabric. You know I will sand. You know I will. See, Cindy's like, she knows me too well. She knows I'm gonna sand it. So again, there's little gaps, and you just take your brush and you get a little bit of paint on that brush and just wipe it off. And if you fill them in, it doesn't even look like a stencil. And the first time or two you do it, you know, sometimes you have to just practice at it, but you get better and better the more you do it. And the more you do it, the more you look at your pieces and you just are like, I can't not have those bridges filled in. There's nothing wrong with leaving them open at all. You can totally do that. This just gives this more of a finished look, and I usually kind of move around as I'm doing it. I don't know why, but it works well for me. Everybody has to do their own thing. Hi Pamela, how are you? I hope you're having a good day. I don't know if Michigan is having good weather today. We had really pleasant weather. It's been sunny. I mean, it's sad when you're like, oh, it's been sunny and it was about 30 something. Hi Kelly, how are you? And you think that's nice, but it did feel pretty nice. I thought anyhow. I did feel bad for my husband though. He has to get eye shots every 3 months, and he had to go get them today, and they dilate both your eyes. And of course I told him, I said, you know, it's probably going to be gray, you'll be fine. And it was gray going over there, and as soon as we came home, the sun came out all nice and bright. And if you've ever had your eyes dilated, you know how awful that is. Cloudy there, yeah, that's what we're supposed to get, snow tonight, Pamela, and then some rain, and then like the rain is going to freeze. It's going to turn to freezing rain over all that snow, so it's going to be a mess, I believe. I'm glad I don't have to go anywhere tomorrow. I hate I mean, I can drive in the snow, you just got to slow down, but ice is, oh, you had a lot of fog, Cindy? Yeah, we've had a really weird winter. Very, very strange. It's been warmer than normal. We haven't had a lot of snow. We're kind of the snow capital of Ohio. We usually get, we get close. Oh, your eyes are dilated. April, how are you even reading the comments? Oh my goodness. I don't know how you're doing that. I usually come home and I draw the blinds. I certainly couldn't look at a computer screen. So see, April, you may not even see how off I've got this if they're dilated. Like I said, I wish I had gotten it closer, and I probably, like I said, I'm going to try to add something to the side and see if I can live with it, and if not, I'll sand it down and do it over. You're wearing sunglasses. You're like that Corey, gosh, I forget his name. I'm dating myself. He was like from the 80s, I think. It's not night, but you wear your sunglasses in the house. Dilated eyes are horrible. They're just awful. Okay, so I connected those bridges. That didn't take that long. It's gonna, Corey Hart, thank you. I knew it was Corey somebody. My sister was crazy about him, my middle sister, and we took her, my husband and I took her to the concert to see him, and that was the only, there's nothing worse than going to a concert when you only know. So this is really pretty, I think, even though it's off. Let's see. I didn't center it the way I should have. I'm going to add something here, or I'm just going to sand it and do it over. But connecting the bridges, I would probably need to just do a real light sand and do it one more time, but I think it just gives it a more finished look. And again, this is number This one is number 8679, and it's the medium. This fits on an 18-inch round. I think it would be really nice. I forget who said it. Was it? Oh, I can't remember. Was it Linda, I think, maybe said that she was going to put it on a TV tray, which is really clever. So I got these on Amazon. They came in a little bag because, you know, you don't have checkers. You may have checkers at home, but these fit perfectly. And I can put a link after the live, but they're really pretty. I don't think they were too awful much, but they're real pretty checkers. You know, and they fit just absolutely perfect on this size board. And they come in a little bag that you can put them in. So I thought that was kind of nice. And you may have checkers at home, but they're wooden and they're real pretty. Aren't those pretty? It'd be prettier if it was centered, but hey. Okay, so I think that's really kind of cool. So I'll put a link. So the link after the live will be like above. So above this video, I try to put the links to the products, the stencils, and I'll put a link to the checkers too if you're interested in ordering those. But this is going to be a lot of fun to play with my grandkids. And I think that's something you could pass down to, like generational. Just pay attention when you're doing it. And when I did, you'll see when I flipped this over, I measured it on that side. I didn't measure it on this side. Usually I eyeball things, but sometimes on a circle you should be eyeballing things. So this side, I'm going to do the tic-tac-toe. So I have already painted this, something sticking to it, in chalkboard paint. So it's the first time I've ever used chalkboard paint. Has anybody ever used chalkboard paint, or like am I the last one? Yes, I'll put a link. Yes, it'd be cute. I might just put our family name on the side, and then that would take care of that, and it wouldn't look so off. I hate to go out and sand. I sanded yesterday. Usually my husband sands for me, and he didn't yesterday, and it was so cold outside. It was in the 20s, and I was like, oh my gosh, my fingers were numb like by the time I got done. Oh, thank you, Vicki. That's very nice. Let me just get this little piece of whatever got stuck to it. I don't know what did. Something got stuck to the paint when I flipped it. So this side, I have already put the checker. Okay, so I put this on it. And I did measure this when I put it down, so that's a lot more centered. One's going to be a lot more centered. But I'm going to also show you that after I did these words, I did do the bridges on this, on all of it, and I did it twice. And see how nice that looks? So those are done. And this is chalkboard paint. I'd never used it before. It's the first time I ever even opened it. So there is a trick if you don't have chalkboard paint. It's off, Kelly, but thank you. I appreciate that. It's going to drive me insane. So this is something I did a long time ago. If you do not have chalkboard paint, you could, let me show you something real quick. So if you have black paint, I just wanted to try my chalkboard paint because I had it. Let me set this aside for a minute. And I'm going to show you something real quick here. So if you have black paint, so this is, I'm going to wipe this off. This is just black paint, black acrylic paint right here that I've actually painted on a picture frame, which we'll have to do a project like that once. That is so much fun, using a picture frame. And let me just dry it here. So now it's just back to being black paint, but I gotta dry this. But if you season it with chalk, it becomes a chalkboard. So if you don't have chalkboard paint, you can totally do this with just black paint. Yeah, Fusion Mineral Coal. What do I seal my boards with? It depends. Like this, this chalkboard, I'm not gonna seal because it's chalkboard paint, and I don't think I would be able to write on chalk. And I'll show you why I did it in chalkboard paint, because I thought doing the tic-tac-toe would be kind of fun. So if you don't have, this is just black paint. If you take a piece of chalk and you take your chalk and you run it across just like that, just like this. You don't need to have chalkboard paint. And then run it this way. It's called seasoning the board. And then you wipe it off. If I can find a rag here, I'll just get a shop towel. And then you just wipe it off. It makes it into a chalkboard. It would probably be better if I had, but this is seasoned up here. And it makes it into a chalkboard. So you could do this with just black paint. And I don't know what I did with my chalk, but then this is made into a chalkboard. So that is kind of cool if you don't have chalkboard paint. Hi Sherry, how are you? She stencils colors with the chalkboard mark with chalk. Oh, that is so neat. I love that idea, April. I love that. But so you don't have to buy chalk, which I don't know. I actually think I like my, I think I actually like this better. It's because it's kind of matte. This chalkboard paint is a little glossy. I'll be honest, I used it. Hi Jean, how are you? And I was, it was blue. I was like, why is it blue? It says it's black, but then when I put it on, it was black. So I am going to get my tic-tac-toe stencil here. And I've already done the family that stays together or plays together stays together. I've already stenciled that and filled up my bridges on this side. And I'm going to get my tic-tac-toe stencil, and this one is on sale today too. I'm going to stand over here and make sure. And I am going to get my tape measure. It's about 3 inches. Needs to come over just a little bit more. I think that's good. And I'm going to tape this down. And I'm just going to stencil in this tic-tac-toe board. And it comes with these cute little X's and O's. You've used chalk paint then, April? I've never used it. This is my first time. I thought, oh my gosh, I've had it so long it's turned blue, but it was really weird. It was like this really weird blue when I opened it up. I don't know if that's normal, but mine was, but it went on black. It was really strange. I kept stirring it and stirring it. So I'm getting me some white paint here. And I'm going to get a stencil brush here. One of my domed stencil brushes that I got off Amazon. And I'm going to dip here in the white. Just like that. And get it in my brush. So there's quite a bit of paint on there. But then I'm going to offload onto my shop towel, which I wadded up and used for chalk. And so once you've got that, you've got an almost dry brush. And that, friends, is very helpful with bleeds. And I'm just swirling this white in here. Yeah, this chalk paint is a little bit more glossy than what I'm used to. Usually the paint I use is matte and it's kind of glossy. And I know you could use chalk. At work we have, because we have a big chalkboard, we have chalkboard markers, and boy, those are cool because they're all different colors. April said that one of her customers has a big chalkboard and she uses the stencils and stencils them in with chalk and changes them seasonally. Hi Kim, how are you? So we're getting closer. I can't believe January is almost over. I just find that, I feel like it's gone really quickly. So I did this in chalk paint because my thoughts were that you could just play with this with chalk. But if you didn't want chalk because it's messy, I did get these other little pieces off of Amazon, which I'll show you. And where the heck did my dryer go, guys? There it is. If you ever saw what went on behind the scenes, your birthday's, oh, happy birthday, Cindy. Happy birthday to you. Do you have any special plans? My birthday's in September. I don't know that I would, it's still summerish because it's the beginning of September. It's still pretty summery around here. And I like that about it. Okay, so I'm going to put this down here. And I'm going to go over that again. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, April. I've seen where people stencil with paint. They'll stencil on their mirrors. You know, like in their bathroom or on their front doors. I've never done that. I think that would be really neat. I seem to rarely have time to get my seasonal decor changed out from one season to the next, let alone time to like stencil all over mirrors and doors, but it's really pretty. And I know there's a paint you can use to make it permanent. And then there's also like you can just wipe it off. I think if you just use regular paint, it comes off maybe with alcohol. I'd have to like rewatch the videos. I've got a couple videos saved. You're starting to work on Easter and spring stuff. I know. I feel like we need to start doing that. Did anybody see the beautiful spring releases that April came out with? I posted, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. Oh my goodness, every time I think I have my cart full enough, she adds a whole bunch of other really, really cute stuff. Okay, I'm just going to give that a quick dry. I know, isn't it hard, Jackie? Oh, you stencil on your mirror. So what do you take it off with, Sherry? Does it just come off with water, or do you have to use alcohol? Sherry stencils on her, did you say your mirror? Your mirror. I think that's so neat. Okay, now I am going to take my liner brush, and I'm definitely going to fill these in. Otherwise, that's not going to look correct, really, for the tic-tac-toe. Boy, we used to play hours of tic-tac-toe. Do you remember playing, like, tic-tac-toe when you were little? Hangman. What else would you play with, like a paper and pencil? She says it's not her fault. I don't know. No, she has some beautiful designs. I love all those little plant sayings. I love that one that she came out with that says vintage souls. I think that one's so cool. I absolutely love that one. That one I'm thinking about getting a couple different sizes in, maybe to put on a pillow. I thought about putting it on it says vintage soul, about putting it, it's got a really pretty daisy, putting it on a t-shirt. I think it would be beautiful on a t-shirt. In one of the examples, she had it on a bag. I just love that design. I feel like I'm getting to be a vintage soul. Oh, I love vintage and retro. I like anything like the letters, like those kind of bubble letters that's like very 70s. You know what I'm talking about, like what you would have seen in the 70s on t-shirts and stuff like that. I guess you love, you know, the era you kind of grow up in. So I am 57. I'm going to be 58 this year. So I was born in 1965. So I am a child of the 70s, and I graduated in the 80s, 1983. Really should have been 84, but for whatever reason, back in the old days, you could go to kindergarten when you were 4 years old. So 70s and 80s there. Yeah, I love the 70s and 80s. So I'm going to, just where I filled in those bridges on the tic-tac-toe, I'm going to go over it one more time. 1966. Oh, you're younger than me, Jackie. No fair. But I love all that vintagey, like the 70s, 80s, early 80s. You graduated in 84, Christine? That's when I should have graduated, because I was 17 when I graduated. I was very young, and it really kind of stunk because my parents were very, very strict. And let me tell you, being, 15 when everybody was 16, they could all drive before me. They could date before I could, because I couldn't date until I was 16. Oh, you graduated in 75, Jean? You're not that far behind. My husband graduated in 77, so he's older than me. I tease him now. I tell him, oh, yeah, I married you for your Social Security, right? But he's retired now. He really likes it. Oh, because of your birthday. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, see, mine was in September, and I was 4 turning 5, and they started me. And I was the youngest kid in the class. And like I said, my parents were, which there's nothing wrong. I was, you got to be strict with your kids and stuff. But it was kind of disheartening when everybody could go on dates and stuff. And my dad was like, nope, you're not 16 yet. You're 15. So there was none of that. Not that there were a ton of guys lined up asking me, but I grew up in a very small town. Our high school, we had, I don't know if we even had 100 kids graduate from our high school, our graduating class. It was very small, and I don't think it's much bigger. Okay, so I filled in the bridges on this tic-tac-toe just to make it look good. Because you don't want to have big gaps in the tic-tac-toes. Well, hello, Rhonda. You're retired? Oh, yeah, so you married somebody for his Social Security too, Jean, right? Yep, well, that was me, Lois. I was way too young. Okay, so I thought this was really cute, so this will be on the other side. So let me find another piece of chalk since I lost my chalk. But I thought it would be so cool since I did it on chalk, with chalk paint, you know, you could definitely play it with the chalk. How cool is that? Some people might think that's too messy, so you wouldn't want to do that. So I also got these little things. I got a huge pack of them off of Amazon, and I just kind of whitewashed them. They look like this. He's retired military. Oh, what branch of service was he in, Gene? So they look like this. They came like this. So I kind of whitewashed mine. So what I did was, I'll show you real quick here. Let me put my gloves on. And what branch of service was your husband in? My husband was in the Army. You graduated in 78, Winnie? See, we're all relatively around the same age. It's funny because they'll give you demographics after lives. Air Force. Oh, congratulations. My sister, my brother-in-law is in the Air Force. He might be over 20 years now. So take a wet wipe. If you want to do like a stain, use a paint as a stain. Oh, that's awesome, Rhonda. So what I do is I just take it and I grab a little bit of the paint I want, which in this case is the white, on a wet wipe. And if you just, it makes it like a stain. So rather than being this color, it's got a little bit of white to it. That's how I did these. Instead of painting them solid white. And I did a bunch before because I was going to show you. Your dad retired 20 years from the Air Force. Yeah, you move around a lot. My sister, oh, she's moved. They moved every year to 2 years. I think at one point she had moved in 8 years like 6 times. And I'm talking like from California to Tennessee, back to Texas to Florida. But they're in Ohio now too, thank goodness. And that's where he's going to retire. He's at Wright Pat Air Force Base, and it's close by, so we're the closest we've been in years, distance-wise. Okay, so yeah, so that's just a little whitewash there, and you just do that with a wipe. Just use a wet wipe, and it just gives it a little whitewashed look than compared to the yellow of that. So that's what I did with these here. And I got these on Amazon. I'll post a link for these too. But I thought it would also be cute because this stencil comes with the X and O's, which you can use also for Valentine's Day, girls. It would be perfect for that. But in the coal, which I have right here, I'm going to get a little bit of coal out and just stencil up some X and O's, and then you could just place them there if you don't want to deal with the messiness of chalk, is what I'm thinking. Because, you know, not everybody would want to get another brush here. So again, I'm getting that. I'm going to move this over here. And I'll set this down here. And I'm going to offload. And I'm going to place that X on there. And this comes with the tic-tac-toe stencil. And I'm holding this down because there's not really anywhere to tape it. So you've got your X, which I think is kind of cute too. And then get a little bit more paint in your O's, and then you could put these in even the little bag. I don't know if it'd fit in the little bag with the checkers, but I thought this would be really cute too. And do like, you know, 9 of these up. So X, O, isn't that cool? It's not really in the camera, is it? So then you could do that and you could play like that if you didn't want to do the chalkboard paint. So you could do either. Oh yeah, how cool is that? April said you could even do like hearts or other things. So like say, I don't know, say you're Irish, like St. Patrick's Day is coming up. You know, you could do shamrocks and something else, shamrocks and they had some really, I've got some really cute Irish things, but you could just do different graphics. That would be really fun. So again, so you could do it on the chalkboard paint, where you could do it with chalkboard and wipe it off, or you could use these, which I like this idea way better. I think that's really cute. And this is the best. Okay, I'm going to show you. This wasn't that much, but look at how many of these came. I just wanted like 9 of them, but this huge box of these came, but I figured I could use them for like ornaments, little coasters, I don't know. There's got to be a million uses for them. If you can think any, girls, let me know, because I got a bunch of them. I tell you what. So that's how that went. That was a lot. So today we've done the tic-tac-toe board, and that was stencil number. Yes, it would be a really fun housewarming gift. April, I don't think your mind ever shuts down. April designs all the stuff too on the Stencil Smith. She doesn't have designers or anything like that. She is the designer, and she does such a wonderful job with her designs. Yeah, that's what the burlap bags yeah, so this was the little, I don't know if you saw, Rhonda, but I got this little thing, and I'll put the links. But these are the little checkers I got for the other side. So this is the X's and O's, and I'm going to finish up the X's and O's because I think that's just darling with these little things to play. I like that better than I do the chalkboard, personally. Oh, yeah, plant stakes. All those little plant things that you made. All those little sayings. That would be so cute. Background for staining them. Oh, that would be cute. Jeannie says use them for stain them different colors and use them as backgrounds. Oh, they would, yeah, those burlap bags that I have, that would fit into the burlap bags. You're right. Make a banner out of them. Oh my goodness, that's a great idea. Yeah, make a banner out of them. I might have to do that too. Maybe hang something back here. That would be super cute. So anyhow, so this is what we did today. We did this tic-tac-toe board, and this is number 6011. This is the 11-inch one, and I did it on an 18-inch round from Home Depot. I did it in chalk paint. I got these little guys, and I'll post the links. A banner's a great idea. I love that. Hi, Dominica. How are you? Yeah, so these would fit perfect in the burlap bags. But look how cute that is. I think that's just darling. So that's with these little things here. Got a bunch of them. I think I got at least 200 of them or something like that. Well, thank you, Jackie. And then the other one we did is the checkerboard, which is on this side, which mine, as you can see, I know somebody said, oh, it doesn't look that off, but it's off. So I'm gonna probably add something. I've got all kinds of chalk on this side, and I gotta finish connecting my bridges. And then this is, this one is number 8679 in a medium, and this fit on a 18-inch round. Hi, Mitzi, how are you? And then there's this little checker stencil too that you could also, you know, like stencil to the side, something like that. I don't know. You might stencil like the family name. I must have chalk all over me. I do. I'm getting it everywhere. I'm a messy, messy crafter. So those are the 2 stencils today, and they're going to be on sale for 20% off today and tomorrow. And you can use my code SIGNSHACK, SIGNSHACK, and you can save an additional 15%. And I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me. And oh, thank you, Rhonda. I appreciate everybody. Oh, that's a great idea, April. Could paint them on both sides. I have a lot of pieces though, April. You have no idea. I have so many. But yeah, so those are cute. That's for the, the tic-tac-toe. See, I'm getting chalk everywhere. You know, I just think that's really cute. So you guys have a great day. I'll see you next Tuesday. We'll have another fun project next Tuesday. If you haven't done it, please do this. I really appreciate it when you can do that and help me out. And like I said, anything you order, use SIGNSHACK, SIGNSHACK. Oh, thank you, Jean. Yeah, that's just the Valspar. Valspar Antiquing Glaze is what I use for that. Yes, I have I may have to share some pieces with people when I send out my gifts for my monthly gifts. I think I may have to put some in. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you so much, April. Thank you, and I'll see everybody next week. You have a great evening. Stay warm. Bye-bye.